Hi guys! Many of you asked me about my photo equipment, so today I've decided to show you the insides of my photo backpack, my camera, my photo lenses, and also I will tell you what am I using them all for. Let's go! Since I travel a lot, a light luggage is essential for me. This is why I switched to a full-frame Nikon Z7 mirrorless camera from a DSLR, and since then, never looked back. The body is much lighter than the DSLR, it is compact, easy to carry around, and works great for both pictures and videos, which is important since I shoot both. When it comes to lenses, I also prefer to carry not more than 2 at a time with me, especially on the road. Usually it is one more versatile zoom lens for street photography and general scenes, and a fixed focal length with a wide aperture for portraits. Note that all lenses I own right now are Z-mount, that is a new mount for the Nikon Z series mirrorless cameras, but you always can use an F-mount lens with an adapter as well. First lens I'm going to show you is probably the most versatile of them all, and if you really need to choose one good all-rounder for your street and travel photos, I'd recommend buying this one. It is a 24-70mm zoom lens with a 2.8 aperture. There is also a kit f4 version of the 24-70mm, which is less pricey, but for me wide aperture is key and this lens delivers amazing results. It is super sharp at all focal lengths, its autofocus is really fast, which is great for reportage, documentary, street, you name it. This is my to-go lens in the situations where I have no specific subject in mind and need a lens to cover me on all fronts. I can go quite wide with it as well as zoom in with no loss of quality. Second lens is probably my favorite to shoot with, even though it might be not the most compact or the smallest. It is a telephoto 7200mm f2.8 and I love it. It starts at 70mm, which is a bit above standard length, but it is an amazing lens for both portraits and landscape for me. You can also use it as a macro lens since it creates this beautiful bokeh, perfectly separating layers in your photograph. It is very robust and durable and is basically built to last a lifetime. You can really zoom into your subject with it and get that compression of layers in your photograph when the background looks much closer than it is. I use this lens for my tunnel of love pictures in Ukraine, for example, and the results are amazing. Now let's talk about the prime lenses. Those lenses have fixed focal length, which makes them less versatile than the zoom lenses. On the bright side, prime lenses are usually very lightly built, offer superior optical quality, and have wider apertures. I use prime lenses mostly for my documentary and portrait work, as well as for street photography sometimes. First prime I own is Z series 35mm 1.8. It is a bit wider than the standard 50mm lens, showing perspective a bit wider than normal human vision. But in my portrait work, I like to show a bit more of an environment around the person. I like pictures to tell the story, so whenever I want to shoot people as well as show their surroundings, I pick this lens. Second lens I own is similar in its physical size. It is 85mm Z-mount, also with 1.8 aperture at its widest. 85mm is great for close-up portraits. It is a go-to lens for many wedding and family photographers since it creates a beautiful bouquet around the person. I've started using this lens much more recently since I stay in Berlin and work on personal portrait projects. So this was a short intro into my photo equipment. I also own a few analog cameras as well as rent other lenses from time to time for specific reasons, but these are my favorite ones which I do most of my photography and video work with. Thank you for watching. Bye!